District 6 potential in terms of, allocating the police costs and stuff. It's been a conversation for a very, very, very long time that because we have certain industry downtown in the evening, that creates a need for an extra layer of police that ends up being borne by all of the taxpayers and mostly by the town outside the village, because the town outside the village really pays 75% of the total A-fund tax levy, where the village pays about 25%. The town outside the village residents are paying for the greatest portion of the police budget for police needs downtown at night with no benefit to it. And when we talked about this District 6 and doing this, shifting of some of the tax costs, for the police, one of the conversations, so it was completely misunderstood if this is what people believe. The conversation was, and I was one of the first to even say, and Dave London and I had a big conversation. I said, why should Rambling Rose have to pay for an increase in, police costs when they're not open from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning, and they don't get the benefit of the revenue, that comes at 11 to 4. So we had a long discussion about the equity of how to have the businesses that derive the benefit from this extra police presence be borne by them and not the taxpayers or the businesses. And that's something we're very, very, very conscious of. And, it can be done a number of ways, and one of the things is a business improvement district, that you structure a business improvement district so the businesses that get the benefit end up also having to pick up the cost. So that's what we were looking to do, not to basically say, to the property owners, you're going to pay for the cost of the police at the expense of the businesses. It's actually reversed, how to get the expense off of your back onto the people who benefit from it, so there's more equity. And every time we talked about the police conversation, it goes back to how do we create equity between the town outside the village and the village residents relative to costs that are borne by the people on the town outside the village. And I think, to temper a little bit what Kevin said, in terms of going forward, I just think what people really sort of need to understand, and I think I'm speaking for the entire town board, the town board is elected by village residents and town residents. We have to represent everybody. But it's very hard when you have a layer of village government that only represents the village people. So it makes it very hard for the town officials to do certain things because you've got an extra layer of village government. If the residents should want to keep a village government, that's okay. That's your choice. You live in the village, you want that extra level of village government, that's fine. But there has to be an understanding that the equity to the town outside the village residents who are paying 75% of the cost of services that are basically in the village, that's got to be reallocated. And we have to start taking care of the town outside of the village residents, because the village residents have a village board to take care of them. And so all we're saying is we're going to try to move forward. We're working to the best of our ability to try to find a way to come together as two governments to operate for the community of New Paltz with a vibrant downtown that we all benefit from. But if this doesn't work, the status quo is not what's going to exist after the fact. There will be shifts, there will be changes, and the town outside the village residents will probably see the benefit of the consolidation not going through, because because this board that represents the town outside the village is going to have to start representing them a little bit better and start saying the inequity is no longer fair. So I think that was the point that Kevin was trying to make. How we do that, we'll end up seeing. We might not all agree on the same way to do it, but I think we all agree as a town board member, and I think I'm speaking for 5 town board members, as long as we're all serving here, we will pledge to the town outside the village that if this doesn't work, we will start to, fix the inequities, because it's just no longer fair, and the town outside the village residents can't afford it, and they don't get the benefit of the village government. The village residents get the benefit of the village government, and so therefore, village residents have to step up to the plate and pay for the benefit of that government.
And Susan, that is not a threat. That's not a threat to anybody in the community. I want you to know that. It's just a reality. It's a reality. We all look at the cost of police. $4 million.
Okay, so.
$4 million going up to 5 pretty soon.
All right.
It's not sustainable.
Well, is this on?
And I think if I could just make a, or
Sure.
did you, I'm sorry, do you have a comment?
Jean started this.
Feel free. Go ahead.
No, you feel free, Gene, I apologize.
Okay, so, that may not be a threat, but as the only village resident on this town board, I feel threatened. And I am rather uncomfortable. And I have to say, I have sat here since 7:30. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Please don't misunderstand. The public has their right to public comment. And that's fine. But there's a number of issues with consolidation that I don't think